Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by, turn my lights off, I could see who's in the panel, Neil, Paul, Brian's Logic, Arwin, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Let's get it on!
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Woohoo!
Hello. Good to hear you all. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon, formerly known as Earth curvature.
I would like to take the chance to say happy birthday to the Black Swan. 2020 was 4 years ago, 1st of January. No, we don't have a physical curvature anymore.
Yeah, shout out to Taboo Conspiracy, Ben, who put out a, if you like, anniversary edition, because he put it out yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I forget which. But just a nice, succinct summary of a Black Swan example alongside a really good rendition of the original Black Swan to give the consistency of the modus tollens argument through an explanation of how that physically works, with the horizon being beyond oil rigs, where it's supposed to be in front of you according to globe earth maths, with physical hill obstructions at 1.2 miles. Well, when it's beyond a oil rig at 10 miles, you can say that that hill that's claimed to be physically blocking things in earth curve maths can't physically get up and put itself behind things it's supposed to be blocking, debunking the notion that the horizon is earth curve. Shout out to you, Taboo Conspiracy, great job. Nice to see it coming out sort of early, first or 2nd of January, whichever it may be. Yeah, to mark 4 years of the Black Swan. Awesome debunking of the main claim of Earth's sphericity, which is to say that the horizon is earth curve. It isn't. We debunked it in 2020.
So who wins the bet? Remember we had a bet on how long it would take for them to get this argument, and I said never. They'll never get it. So I win.
Well, you're talking about when will fundamentalist religious zealots with a ball belief get an argument that completely contradicts their position and demolishes it in all aspects? No, zealots don't tend to relinquish zealotry, Neil. When you say they, you mean the anti-flat earth zealots.
Yeah, that's why I said they'll never get it.
My prediction was 40% of them will never get it. And they'll have to be sat down when they're older and have it go through night classes to explain it to them. They still won't get it. That was my prediction. Because I knew some people will get it, refracted being the best example. But the people who don't get it, it's not that they don't get it, and refracted will vouch for this, is that they can't get it because of what it means.
Right,
So,
they'll have to relinquish their belief in the ball, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. And just on the back of what Nathan said, Ben Taboo Conspiracy backed up exactly what he said. Not with just maths from, let's say, QE or Adam or anyone else. He backed it up with AutoCAD, which can't be argued with. You know what I mean? He showed through AutoCAD what it would have to be if the horizon was that far away. It would mean that there'd be a diameter of 30 miles away from a 1 foot observation line or whatever it was. He actually used 1.5 feet, but he should have gone to 1 foot because BLMSB 69 does go to 1 foot in that video. But the point is, or another video maybe he does that, but the point is that through AutoCAD he showed that there must be a diameter to a globe plane of 3 million miles, because there's going to be a radius of 1.5 million. So, you know, there's no arguing it. It is what it is.
It's a very
it can be ignored.
It's a very concise demolishment of the globe argument. But moving through to 2024 with all these triangles flashing up on screen, plug for Brian's logic. So go and check out Brian's most recent video. I'm going to put a live stream chat link to it. We've been covering it in the pre-show and having a good laugh at some of the aspects that Brian summarised at the end with his 9-point plan to beg the question of a sphere Earth. And I want you to all check it out. I haven't actually watched it myself, although you can see it having a like here. I've only watched what I watched in the pre-show with Brian, with him summarising what he did in the first 20 minutes of it. But in essence, Brian's summarising how you'll need a flat plane to measure claim to be sphere-proving elevation angles. And as I say, they're flashing by on screen constantly when we describe how Earth is measured flat. Did someone want to add something from Discord? Go ahead. On deck.
Is that the horizon that they're claiming is the Earth curve? Is that the same horizon that's used in celestial navigation to obtain the horizontal baseline? And also the horizon that's used in aeroplanes to ensure that the aeroplane is kept level?
Correct. You're talking about a tool utilised to establish a horizontal plane of reference.
That's not the same horizon.
Yes.
No, one deck, it's not. The horizon that's used as a reference in aerospace and as a reference with celestial navigation is the real horizon. The horizon they're speaking about is mathematical only, and it's underneath the surface.
I don't think he was inferring anything outside of our own reality, Brian. You're so used to people inferring that there should be a demolishment of a globe claim within their affirmation of what the horizon is. But I don't think One Deck was inferring that in any way. Were you, One Deck?
Well, no, I was just inferring that the horizon that they claim to be a globe is actually used to, in celestial navigation, maintain the horizontal baseline. So it's nothing to do with the globe. And I presumed, Brian, that in an aeroplane, the horizon is used as a reference to keep the plane level.
Well, it is.
So
I mean,
everywhere you look at it, all you're looking at is horizontals and levels at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, celestial navigation, they do dip correction based off the height of the observer's eye. And that dip correction, the correction that's made only fits a flat plane. It doesn't fit where their globe's horizon would be. The dip to their globe's horizon is not the dip correction. The dip correction only fits a flat plane. But aerospace,
like on the marinas,
they create a parallel. They're creating a parallel horizontal to the horizon. They can, but that's so. But the point is that, I know you know this, but I was just saying it for the audience. The point is that horizon is not the horizon they're speaking about. The horizon they're speaking about is a mathematical thing that exists below the surface.
And it is that
that's our curve.
And it is that exactly. And it is that mathematical below surface level, only in existence in the maths horizon, that is claimed to be, falsely claimed, debunked by the Black Swan, the horizon that we see. But it is not. I now see why you wanted to reiterate that point, Brian, in spite of One Deck's not attempting to make it a claim of what it wasn't. Your point is that for them to assert this mathematical only horizon below surface level in their mathematics, they do so by saying it is the horizon we see. Well, it isn't. We've debunked that. We debunked it in 2020.
Wait a second. Horizons are visual, not mathematical. And it can't happen on a sphere. There are no horizons on a globe.
No, but that's correct. But the horizon they've conjured within the maths of a globe is claimed by globe heads to be our horizon that we see. We have shown that it is not.
There would be horizons on a globe. Just yeah. To say there are no horizons on a globe there is no globe. That's the trouble. But if you were on a globe, there would be horizons, and those horizons would be geometric limitations. That's what doesn't exist.
Yeah,
geometric limitations.
In the same way they can physically show you a boat going over a ball, that would be the case. Well, in the way that if you've got a basketball and a Lego boat going over the curve of it, when you force the perspective in such a way that there's a limitation, at a leading edge that the boat can be physically beyond. Well, if you set that up, there is no instance where, well, you've set the camera up, you've put the Lego boat so it's behind the basketball just slightly, so you can just see the sails, and then you come back an hour later with it all set up exactly the same, and suddenly the thing that was blocking the boat, the basketball, is now behind the Lego boat. That can't happen. The limitation to your view is what they are asserting. The whole calculation of Earth curve is based on hidden values. What's it hidden behind? The physical hill that gets in the way, called Earth curve. They mark it with an X and call it the horizon. But that horizon is a mathematical conjuring. It doesn't exist in reality. They just say, well, that's our horizon. What, the one below the surface level that is needed to ascertain in order to conjure this maths in the first instance. In order to have a geometric limitation below surface level, you have to be able to establish a horizontal plane of reference. That's surface level. To infer that there's a geometric limitation below that surface level that you've just ascertained in the maths. It's absurd. They're saying there's two horizons. We covered this in 2020. First thing we did. There's only one horizon. And the horizon in there, begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics, is below surface level. That must be ascertained somehow. Well, it's a reference plane that you'll use to get it. Well, what's that? Well, it's surface level. And it's level. Must be. So when they came back to us in 2021, because they'd finally caught up with a rebuttal that they might have something to give some legs to, or at least perceive to have some legs to, they're telling us about the geometric limitation that's also in existence beyond the geometric that you cannot see. So their physical hill that they claim is below surface level in their maths cannot be seen because it's not that, it's refracted. Okay? Well, if you've got surface level giving you a horizontal plane of reference to derive your below surface level geometric horizon that you can't see, then you can't see it. All you're ever claiming to see is refraction. Well, that's not proving the very premise of the Earth curve maths in the first instance, which is to prove we've got Earth curve. Oh, we've got Earth curve, but it just moves here, there, and everywhere, depending on the weather. Well, then how are you proving that we've got one? Well, it's below surface level in the maths marked with an X labelled horizon. You just can't see that horizon ever. Okay. That's a bit of a problem. Where are you going to get your derivation to say that we've got a horizon below surface level? Well, by inferring that we've got a radius value for a sphere that we claim we're on in the first place, to say that below the surface level, with a dangling circle, radius 3959, that horizon, at that tangent point, that we cannot see and will never be seen because it's always refracted, is the geometric limitation we're trying to prove called Earth curve, the hill that should block your view of these boats and buildings. I see.
Objection.
What's the problem?
Geometric horizon cannot exist if the Earth is curving.
Oh, well, they get around that by the coup de grace for them, although they thought this in 2022, when they told us that level, that's the surface level, the horizontal plane of reference that's used to derive the R value and to infer that there's a geometric horizon, isn't actually level. Level doesn't mean level. Level means conforming to the surface of a sphere Earth based on the sea that moves around a sphere Earth that we automatically assume. Check out this Merriam-Webster definition. And as soon as they do, I'm nearly there, John. As soon as they do say that level isn't level, we come back to point one, don't we? What, the geometric horizon below surface level in your maths that is unequivocally and must be level to get any of these maths to work. But you're saying that surface level in your maths isn't level. Well, then your maths doesn't work anymore. Not that it did when you were claiming you couldn't see the hill that got in the way that's now refracted below the surface level that is horizontal, that you used to ascertain the R value when you measured Earth flat to get an R value. You know, go ahead, John.
The geometric horizon was calculated from a differential angle between eye level and where surface level appears to meet the sky. If you curve a level, you don't have an angle anymore.
It's the same surface level in the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics. The differential between eye level and surface level to derive an R value is the same level, not curved surface level in their maths. Isn't it?
Well, what's
Yeah, if
actually
you
going
curve
on?
that,
Yeah, you can't curve that. It's a principle in geometry for their assertion that must be level, having no part higher or lower than the other.
But
So then
there's
how do you have a horizon on a globe?
You don't.
You don't. There's a reason why. There's a reason why it's purely mathematical, because they back engineered flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris that were horizontal measurements. Back engineered them, and they took all the south ends of the longitude lines and made them all meet together, like they all meet at the north. And that is all they needed to do. After that, everything was mathematical, because that was mathematical. There was no more need for anything else. That is the beginning and the end. Once they did that, that was the creation of the globe.
And that was
So
the
the rest,
necessity to
whether it be
lie.
dip-
Do you remember,
dip-
Brian, do you remember in 2017 what Rumpus would go around saying in this regard when we were none the wiser and totally ignorant to the subject of navigation? What did the Rumpus used to say about sextants?
that they proved the globe.
That they only worked on a globe.
Yes, that's
What
right.
they had to do is lie. We are now righteous in our declarations when we say you can't have a horizon on a globe. Does that not sound very similar to the kind of nonsense that turn out to be lies from people like Rumpus when they were overtly peddling the confidence trickster methodology that's been perpetuated by our opponents ever since? Which is to say, lie, a sextant which unequivocally cannot work on a sphere and can only establish an angle through a horizontal plane of reference. That is what it is defined as doing and does. He lied. Only works on a globe, you say? No, you can't get an elevation angle. It's now a housekeeping question. They needed to lie. Why? Well, because when they did, it shattered the confidence of the person who hears it, scares them off looking at it. That's why they did it. But they had to lie to do it. Now we're in a position where the tides have turned. We can say a sextant only works on a flat Earth, just like Rumpus used to. That's the attitude I want to take forth into 2024. Their attitude was only propagating lies, like tricksters and con artists do when they say things like sextants only work on a globe, when they prove a flat Earth. They have to be overly confident about things like sextants, in the case of Rumpus, because they can't let it be known that we have possibly the most sticky wicket we've ever been on with this particular tool, the sextant. It proves a flat Earth. So that's what we should be doing, just like Rumpus did. Gen up all the confidence you'd like in all the people around you by telling those around you who challenge us that these particular devices only work on a flat Earth. That's one step beyond what I've suggested up until now, which is take the inference that they will throw at you that Earth's proven to be spherical with X, Y, or Z, and take X and Y and Z and show how flat Earth's needed to use it. Negate all of it. Do what the Rumpus did. Sextants don't work on a globe. Go trolling all of these channels that are anti-flat Earth, just like Rumpus did. One comment, sextants don't work on a globe. Sorry, whoever I was ranting over, go ahead. Or Neil's indicator, which was just as lovely.
I was just going to say, they used to say that you can't have a horizon on a flat Earth. I always heard that constantly.
Yeah, and we should do the same, because it's true. They were lying. They had hijacked perspective, and when they infer that you transpose their hijacking of perspective back onto a plane of reality that is flat in an orthographic vision, then you don't have a horizon because you've got two parallel lines that never converge. Their lines converge when you put a ball between them with a physical limitation at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Therefore, you have got a horizon. when you ignore perspective. But you don't when you ignore perspective on a flat Earth. That was their actual argument. No. Let's go forth on the front foot. You can't have a horizon on a globe. Right, we've got a video to cover today. All I've got is that little clip I covered from yesterday on the Indiana Jones movie.
I just put something in the back office. I've watched it on double speed, and I think it's worth covering, even though it is very annoying.
What is it?
It's from that Jubilee channel that Dan the Waterman was on all those years ago, and it's got 700,000 views.
Okay, well, hopefully a few people have gone to Brian's video in the meantime. If not, as he's one of our own, I'm going to share his link first. So go and check out Brian's Logic's channel. If you've not already subscribed, there's a lot of people who come here by comparison to Brian's channel. Don't get me wrong, this is not a big channel. But there's a lot of you that could be subscribed to Brian. And, you know, if you're anything like me, you'll want to steal his stuff and then take credit for it afterwards. You know, so check him out.
I did put a few videos the other day into Master B concerning gravity is not a force. And one of the guys' videos that I put in there, this guy, Edward Current, he recently made another video. Very strangely, just after basically around the same time as I shared it in Master B, his video of gravity is not a force, going through the equivalence principle and that, he made another video on the topic just recently. And QE shared it with me and said to me that he had actually left a comment, but his comment disappeared. And I left a comment on it, and my comment that I'm aware of at present has yet to be addressed by this guy. But this guy really does his best to make 9.8 meters per second squared upward, not an acceleration. And this guy, Edward Current is his name. He's quite the dodgy guy, quite dodgy. Yeah, I'm not saying we should cover him today, but we should definitely cover him this week, because you will hear more about him when QE comes on.
Go on, Adam. Go on, Adam. Break the flow up. It's really going well. My computer crashed. Has he all died?
Now, it's the first link, Nathan, after the meet in back office, and then the second is a timestamp to jump past a very long advert about juice or something that comes on at 5 minutes or so.
Okay, so can I start at the 5 minute mark then? Is that good?
Well, I think it's best to start at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
I believe the earth is round.
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 That's appeal to consensus, I believe. That's a fallacy in and of itself, just in the edited opening. I love it.
No, I think it's brilliant. Sorry, John.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that bit.
Can we all do that?
No.
I know Earth is flat. It's measured that way.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, the category error
that way.
Hold on, John's saying category error by them. Let's just hear this. We've only got, what is it? We're 14 seconds in. Go on, John.
What is not a believe topic.
Exactly. It's not a believe, disbelieve situation.
Yeah, I thought I addressed that when I said I know Earth is flat. I really put the intonation on no. There is no believe Earth is flat. That's the problem we're trying to overcome in our own community, right? But there we go. Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, that's why I laughed. It was like, Paul, and I'm delighted that you made sure he played that part, because it just goes to show there's many people with a belief, a similar belief, but beliefs mean nothing. You must know, and to know, you must prove. We know. You believe. That's the difference.
So just as a poll, who here believes the earth is flat?
Yeah, raise your hands right now. Any of you guys take flights?
I think we've all taken a
I would
flight.
have to assume everyone at some point in their life.
Is it a thing? Do you guys hear about flat Earth out there?
Why is there never anything attached to the baseless assertion? And it's always phrased in a question. Not, flights prove Earth is spherical because flights comport with the curvature of Earth when they traverse a curved surface. No, it's not phrased like that, because that's not true. In fact, it's the antithesis of that. For the globe believer, they just simply pose the question to the guys raising their hands and saying they're flat earthers, have you never been on a flight? So, if I was there, I've been on lots of flights. And what the hell does that have to do with anything? Unless you attach it to an actual claim of how it would prove Earth's a sphere, which she didn't do. She just laughed at the flat earthers and said, have you never been on a flight? What, because you've been on a flight, you know Earth's a sphere, do you? How so? No, we're not going to get that.
There?
I've heard like
The
something.
thing about it is, sorry, Nathan, just a second. The thing about it is that what we're dealing with is we have an opposition that maybe the ratio could be any amount of hundreds of thousands to one globe believer versus flat earth knower, not adding in the flat earth believers, right? And we're dealing with people, and this has been proven and shown throughout the past 9-10 years, right, of this arena, starting with Betty in 2014, that our opposition are mostly ignorant. And that's their main problem. They only have a belief because they're ignorant. They're ignorant of how airplanes fly. They're ignorant of the fact that airplanes are the greatest proof of a flat plane, that we live on a flat plane. They are the greatest proof of it. But these people are so ignorant of this that they think, kind of like people with the sextant we're just talking about, not so much rumpus, but other people who are the power to them. Sextant proves the globe. It's like, really, how? Do you know what I mean? How many of them didn't even know how a sextant supposedly proved the globe when we brought up the sextant in 2021, when the 10th man brought it up? Basically, none of them. Because it didn't prove a globe. It's just something they say. Just like this. Air travel proves the globe. Really? How? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's just ignorance. That's all it is. Pure ignorant statements. Finished.
Exactly. They've all they've got, and they started the video with this, is the consensus. So we all together, collectively, believe Earth is a sphere. Okay? So given that that is the understanding amongst this group as a majority, anything that could be said here could be used to make the affirmative claim that Earth's a sphere. Have you never stood on the ground? What do you mean? I've never stood on the ground. Well, the ground's spherical. You're numpty. We all know. We've got consensus here. You could say anything. Have you never looked at the sky? Oh, what do you know? They do that all the time. But that's the same thing. Have you never looked at the ground? Have you never looked at the sky? Have you never breathed air before? What's that you think of Earth's flat? Have you never breathed air before? Well, yeah, I have, yeah. Well, then you know Earth's a sphere then, don't you? Have you never travelled on a boat? Yeah, I have, yeah. Well, then you know Earth's just... That's their standard. It's the saddest standard because of consensus.
To bring up a Simpsons reference before you go on, is there was a guy in The Simpsons, and he's just one of these guys, these characters. I think he doesn't have a name. He's just always trying to claim things that are hip and nothing. And it was at some fair, and Homer was walking through this fair, this local town fair or whatever, and this guy was there with these kind of, I think it was something like these candy, I'm using the word candy for the Americans, teeth. Like you can put into your mouth as if they're your own teeth, but you can actually eat them. They're made of, sugar and that. And this guy was like, buy some candy teeth. They have 1,000 uses. And Homer says, yeah, like what? Well, you can use them as your own teeth, right? What else? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you try and go, as Kiwi says, for Micah deep, or anywhere past that, you're getting no information. Most people have zero information as to why they supposedly believe it's a globe. They have nothing. They have nothing. Not like how much. Of course, I have to say it. One of the main things. Whoever was learned about the 8 inches per mile square? Nobody. It's not taught to anyone. You know, I have to shout that out for even people like David Weiss saying it. It's very true. It's never taught to anyone. So no one knows what the curvature rate is, according to the maths. You know, so it curves, really. At what rate? It just curves. You know what I mean? They don't have anything. It's a nothing. Ignorance.
Right, just because I want to get it one more time.
I believe the earth is round.
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 Let's move on.
Hold on, I'm just coming back in.
He
We
is
should make a
an
video.
English teacher.
We know the earth is flat.
I tried that, Neil. Nobody wanted to go along. I went, I know that the earth is flat, waiting for everyone else to join in. And because we're not going to chant Nathan's tune, nobody joined in.
I did, but retracted. Thought rumpus me.
Oh, who rumpus you me?
Son of a gun.
Oh, there we go. Well, I mean, we could all say it in unison.
Neil would have.
It would be quite cheesy now if we tried to arrange it non-organically and it didn't kind of...
I know the earth is flat.
Oh, shut up, Neil.
And if you do literature, you must be a free thinker.
I didn't have anybody knowing anything there. I heard a lot of people telling me what they believed, which is very different. You're welcome to believe whatever you like. I'm not going to challenge that.
Any more for any more?
I believe
your mind must...
Ugh. Go on, Adam. That's the second time Adam's disturbed the flow of the show. What? Go on, Adam, get it out.
That was it. It's all gone. There was nothing left. I was trying to join in after you'd been kind of blatantly ignored by your panel, trying to get a chant going. So I thought, I'll come in, try and rescue, and then it all went. I
personally blame Brian.
Be able to push the imagination.
I didn't want to raise it, but yeah.
When he started to defend flat earthers in the beginning, I was like, Plus, he also looks the role, I'm sorry to say, but he also kind of looks like a flat earther.
Looks like a flat earther? What? Yeah, he kind of looks like a bank robber. What? What? Could you give me a description of him? I'm going to sketch him out.
Well, hold on.
He kind of looked
According
bank
to that-
robbery. You know, like a bank robber. Well, what do you mean? Did he have a striped shirt? No, his face. Looked like a bank robber.
No, I remember that brain guy, the neurosurgeon that came in and said, we are all spherical.
Oh, I know the guy.
In
He looked like a neural surgeon. Had a kind of neural surgeon look about him. What do you mean? He looked like a flat earther. Oh, my God.
Why do you think they're suspicious of you? Well, I'm a little bit older than most of them, and I have a little bit more of a variety of a career.
Can I ask what, political affiliation everyone has?
Yeah, sure. I'm unaffiliated. I don't like politics, so.
Yeah, same. I guess I would lean more towards like a liberal. I feel like I'm.
Oh my God! It's like yesterday when we were trying to explain how with Robotham, the whole thing is geared to just basically attack the person. So we're going to establish what these people are as people to decide whether or not they're a kooky flat earther or not.
Privileged enough to not be into politics like that.
I mean, same. I don't want to disagree with what everyone else is saying, but it's true, so.
Well, now I don't want to say anything because I mean, if I had to pick a team, I'm definitely conservative, but through considering things logically.
I'm more of a, I say I'm a left-leaning moderate.
Anybody care if we spin past this?
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear
Please.
this. I want to hear how they use that logic.
I think I lean more liberal, but obviously making sure to think about things in context to reason things up.
Wait, okay, I have a question. What's the defense you can make for flat earthers? I always like to look at.
Right, what's the defense you can make for neurologists? What's the defense you can make for painters and decorators? So what the hell kind of question is this? I don't really understand why, as I correctly identified only 30 seconds earlier, this is about the person. What can you do to defend a flat earther? Earth is measured flat. You're going to start criticising me and my lifestyle? Yeah, you'll get a thick end of my tongue very quickly if you do, because I'm just telling you Earth's measured flat. How dare you inquire into any aspect of my political views, my home lifestyle? None of it's any of your goddamn business. Earth is measured flat. You think you need to inquire about my bloody lifestyle because of that fact about how Earth's measured? This is a disgrace. Why is it that being a flat earther means you're opened up to questions about your political views? Oh, I know. It's because it's been permeated through a crowd of numpties that like to talk about conspiracies and 9/11 a lot. So people really are intrigued about how these numpties operate on a mental level when they find out that they're punting flat Earth as a belief. Well, I'm going to put a stop to that. Next time someone inquires into my flat earthism, I'll tell them it's measured flat and then tell them to butt out my bloody business in terms of what I am personally. Who cares what I am as a man? Makes absolutely no difference. Earth is measured flat. Go on about defending me as a flat earther or finding out what makes me a defendable flat earther. I'm just a man doing man things with my family. Who cares what my political views are if I tell someone that the measurement of Earth is flat, it's navigated flat, built on flat, the maps are all flat because that's how it functions? I don't see why this is any of anybody's business. Shout out to Godzilla 37. Take a breath and get my disdain in order. They're standing in a flat box on a flat stage. They're telling folk they're on a ball. You can't make this crap up. Right on. Thanks for the super chat.
Well,
yeah, but it's like Eric DeBay's video. You're challenging a paradigm that you're not supposed to challenge.
Yeah, but
can I just
I'm
say
interested
good morning, guys?
Yes, hello, Chocolate.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Chocolate.
What up? What
Hey,
up?
Chocolate.
Guy,
Happy
Sky.
New Year, everybody.
Indeed it is. In
Happy New
March.
Year, Chocolate.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like for us to make a few guesses, personal guesses, on what they're going to come up with as some kind of a defense for flat earthers. I'm going to go with my guess. Well, I would say that they're open-minded. That would be my guess.
I'm going to say that it's a lack of intelligence is what they're going to try to push towards and suggest that we're undereducated morons.
Right, and then and the spin from the videographer's point of view will be the one that actually comes across. Let's say it's the bigger guy, the big tall guy. Let's say it's him, and he's like, "Well, actually, I'm just conservative, and I tend to think these things through with logic." People go, "Oh, right, okay, this guy's smart. Probably not a flat earther then." So when it turns out to be him, it'll be, "Oh my God, but yet you seem so intelligent." Like shock and awe. You should be a Dumbo or something like that. That's my prediction. Anybody else?
That's a good one, Nathan.
I've literally got that response from people. Like, oh, I thought you were what? What did you think I was? I don't know. I didn't think you were that type of person. What type of person? The type of person who just sees that the Earth is measurably and observably flat? That type of person?
No, the type of person that needs pointing in direction of a plastic sharpener for the crayons. That's what they thought and don't want to say.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, like, so everything I said was cool, and you were on point with everything I said until I told you that the Earth is not a ball. All of a sudden, what I say doesn't matter, or it's just discounted. That's weird.
Challenging their paradigm.
But you do mess them up mentally, though, Chocolate, don't you? Because what you will be doing is coming from that angle, knowing full well that if you present everything in an agreement ladder that they will agree with, when it gets to the point that you lay it on them, suddenly they're in a cognitive battle that would be presumed to start with, "Oh, you're a flat earther," from the outset, would you like me to get you some sharpened crayons? You can't do that when you've already gotten to agree with
they
everything.
haven't challenged anything I've said prior to that. So all of a sudden they see something they feel they like a necessity to challenge, and then it's like, oh, they don't know how to challenge it. They don't know what to say. They just, oh, you're one of those guys. What kind of guys? You know, like what's the matter with you? You have a problem with what I'm saying, you might want to holler at the Earth, because it's not my fault the Earth is measured flat. That's just what it does. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's funny part of
denier is what that's holding you without saying it.
Quick shout out.
but usually,
hold on, Chocolate. Is it to you? Happy New Year, Chocolate. I'm glad you got yourself fired so you could be back on FED. That's very presumptive, Godzilla 37. Thank you for the super chat, but no.
Thanks, Godzilla. Happy New Year, brother. I'm not fired. I'm actually at work, but I got to come here a little bit less because it's a little hectic at this time, but try to make it when I can. So here I am.
Thank you for the super chat.
The other opposition to make a conclusion?
You know, I will say this is probably gonna like make you guys think that I'm the mole, but I will say that I'm not 100% sure we went to the moon, so I'm not like
Okay.
I'm not 100% convinced that we've gone to the moon. So I don't know, maybe if
again, if my prediction's correct, this will be a red herring. So therefore, they might guess it's him when it's not, but it's still laid out there that he doesn't believe in the moon landing. That would be in line with very much the accepted standard in mainstream from what I watch in various non-related YouTube subject matters, where people are quite happy to admit they don't believe in the moon landing in 2024.
Like, if we didn't go to the moon, what else could the government...
Go on, Brian.
So I'm just saying that what you said, when I heard that guy speak, I'm a conservative and I think about things logically. He straight away, to me, stood out as he was going to be the flat earther. Now, it doesn't mean he is, but he straight away stood out. And I'm wondering if this whole thing is political, where they're going to try and make a conservative into a flat earther, or all conservatives possible flat earthers. Do you know what I mean? It could be truly that. You know, it's American, so.
Could be.
Are we listening to a game show? Is this like Guess the Flat Earther?
Guess the Flat Earther, Chocolate. I mean, this guy's black,
seriously?
so maybe because he's black, he's a flat earther. Are all flat earthers black? Because one of them said he looks like a flat earther. I think it might have been him that said it, actually.
No, if he's black, he's a rapper, because he looks like a rapper.
He looks like a rapper because he's black. Yeah, he couldn't get much more racist, but it doesn't transfer as a parallel to a nondescript, all races, creeds, colours and societies have flat earthers. Yet one of them, this guy, I think particularly, the black guy we're specifically referencing by using racist parallels, to say, well, he looked a bit like a flat earther. My comparison is a lot cleaner, by the way.
What if you fit both stereotypes? That you're black and you're a flat earther and a rapper, and you're black.
There has been a couple of black flat earth rappers, Chocolate, so, I mean...
Yeah.
You know?
Wasn't asked to be lying to us about.
What's your reasoning behind that, though?
I mean, like a lot, I guess. A lot of things just seem suspicious to me. When I first started, I was like, oh, cool, that we went to the moon. But then I'm like, well, we went to the moon with very little tech, like the tech that during the Cold War, and then also just like the flag was waving, which I mean, I guess really doesn't make any sense considering there's no.
Yeah, they've slipped this in because these are all the fed to the mainstream crappy debunks that engage the audience in a narrative that still has space but has been faked. Okay, so we'll deal with that because we're here to do that on Flat Earth Debate, and that is to say, the sky is not a vacuum, and the journey to the moon would take place through the vacuum of space. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we're all breathing would be filling that area of volume, 10 to the minus 17 torr in nature, according to the heliocentric rhetoric. A sky vacuum, we'd all be dead, because gas fills space. And if they travelled through our gas into an area called a vacuum to get to the moon, then the gas that they traversed could also follow into that area of volume. In fact, it's a second law of thermodynamics violation. That would be to say that to suggest the sky is a vacuum for a rocket to travel through to get to the moon would involve a violation of a law of nature. Entropy law, the second law of thermodynamics. A law of nature that describes gas dispersion in this instance, where gas fills space. And, you know, they're laughing at us all by saying that the area above our heads we call the sky is space. What, like a space gas could fill in line with entropic law? Yeah. Outer space is fake. There is no outer space. We can't travel through it to get to the moon. That's a much more concise way of debunking it rather than saying the flag looked a bit wonky. What, on the set where they obviously filmed it with backdrops? Even in this crappy little picture, I can see the backdrop. Yeah? I worked in theatre. There's a backdrop. Yeah? A demarcation line between where they have dropped a physical piece of cloth, canvas, with painting on it to make it look like an extended background. Now, they still do that to this day. They just do it with green screen instead of with artists. But the methodology that is used in what we commonly know as green screen is absolutely no different to basically a canvas painting. Now, that through the ages evolved into RoboCop using paintings that are laid over a shot. So you set a fixed camera up and then you lay a painting in front of it. So there's a particular building in, I think it's in Dallas, and it's like the police building. Very weird shape. They just put a painting over the top of it to turn it into the OCP building. Now, you wouldn't know any different because it's a fixed camera position and a clever, with perspective, artist making the building look much taller. So you don't know any different. Well, now they can do that painting process that used to be a backdrop that then went onto these mats that they put in between them. I mean, that was done much, much earlier with various Chaplin movies. But my point is that technology has never changed. And you can see it because they didn't have CGI when they did this. So they did it the old-fashioned way with backdrops. Now, as you study the old moon landing footage, you can see it's clearly done on a stage. But that isn't what I'd lead with. Yeah, it automatically becomes fake, and then you can, if you choose to, pick apart the fake cinematography that's claiming to be on a planet out in a sky vacuum called the moon. Nah, definitely not. You can pick it apart, but if you just take apart the journey in the first instance, at a base level with a law of nature that nobody can argue with, there was no journey to the moon. Choose to take apart the footage if you wish. There was no travelling through a sky vacuum. I'm done. Anybody got anything else to add?
Yeah, I was going to say the argument he's making about the flag and going to the moon is still within the heliocentric paradigm. So he could believe they didn't go to the moon and still accept that Earth is a sphere. So it's a non sequitur, really.
Yeah, he's saying we didn't have the technological ability to travel out through a sky vacuum second law of thermodynamics violation to land on the obviously spherical shaped rock that we could land on, but we just didn't because we didn't have the technology. Anyone else?
Well, it's a category error.
Get past the Van Allen radiation belt, or they did, and they didn't notice.
Exactly. You can invent any old narrative for why they did or didn't within the heliocentric paradigm.
It's a bit of a category error in a way, because if you're claiming the Earth is flat or has a horizontal baseline, like near sea level, then you're not claiming the moon is not a rock or the sky is not a vacuum, if you know what I mean. That's not, like, technically you're not claiming that. You're talking about the geometry of the physical Earth you stand upon. Now, obviously, the laws of thermodynamics come into it eventually, you know, there's no denying that. But the point is that them speaking about the moon landing has no relevance outside of the blue marble painting, has no relevance to the geometry of the Earth, does it? Let's be honest. Whatever the sky is has no relevance to the geometry. Whatever it is doesn't change what the Earth is geometrically.
Right. The way I would respond if it was put to me in this manner is to say, well, if you gave me the telemetry data for the moon landing, I would be able to show how, based on the fact they overtly state they use the stars to navigate, how you would need a horizontal plane of reference to do it. So give me that telemetry data and I'll show how flat Earth is proven with it.
That's when you pull out your space sextant.
You can only use a sextant on a flat Earth. Sextants don't work on a globe.
wind in space, but and then like also there was shadows, which also doesn't really make sense because the way it was. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I just had a bunch of questions. That's it. Not 100%.
But like you, I also agree that we wanted to win certain aspects of the Cold War one way or another.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I say nothing to do with flat Earth, everything to do with political motivations, whether or not they did or didn't go to the moon, still in a heliocentric paradigm.
If you guys like, I mean, I did vote Ryan out. So was there anyone else that was like suspicious to anyone?
I will say I voted for Georgia. I apologize.
I also did, yeah.
Yeah, just because you started off defending them a little bit, so I was like,
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's maybe.
You can hear the music in the background. Also very telling. Lets you know the editor's opinion.
Like scientific curiosity?
I mean,
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, you're conservative, and a lot of listen. I mean, a lot of right-wing individuals believe some pretty insane things, like Trump is still president. Far right wing. Far right can be pretty crazy things.
Was it you that wanted to get this established, Brian?
Wow. Sorry,
the hell
I
is
wanted to
this
spin past on this.
nonsense?
You were like, no, I wanted to hear how they peg them politically.
Yeah, I said that. I said that they're going to, if the flat earthers turn out to be conservative, or the conservative turns out to be a flat earther, it's kind of like those conservatives are flat earthers because the left and the right in America are so pathetic.
Well, you're right
And
so
everywhere.
far.
Thinkers. So I'm not sure where on the political spectrum you are, but you say conservative, and I get a little, I guess, a tid queasy.
So time is flexible. I don't think that time bends and space warps. But I think there's things that make it look like that. I just got myself voted off the show, didn't I? I think that famous scientists in the past, like Albert Einstein, he had to think freely about how to rationalize things that couldn't be answered at the time. So he answered questions that no one could answer.
He seems to know a lot, and a lot of flat earthers do a lot of research so that they can fight and argue their belief.
Do you not
Okay.
believe that gravity bends space and time, as it's like black hole theories?
I have an entire whole hypothesis on that. I've written a bunch of stuff personally.
It's blind leading the blind. Pseudoscientists talking about pseudoscience.
And whatnot. And
please talk about it.
I've got my own hypothesis. What your own scientific prediction when you're not discussing anything to do with science? When you discuss Einstein, who offered up answers to questions that nobody had answers for. Well, that's about as far removed from offering up a cause and effect relationship with a validated hypothesis. But you've got a hypothesis on this, haven't you, son? No, you don't know what science is. None of you do.
And it would take long.
Do you know who the mole is? Comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
The challenge with e-commerce is often the...
This seems to be a meeting of the believers. You know, they are like Einstein. What did Einstein do? He gave them causes that were unsubstantiated to effects that don't exist. Hey, do you know what I mean? That's all he did.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was about to say. It's like when they say hypothesis or theory, they mean wild speculation in a world you don't live in.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate summary. They don't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Back to the flat Earth conclusion again.
Yeah, I mean, if he started to doubt whether we were on the moon or not, I feel like he would have some other things to doubt.
I voted for Ikpan Mosa, mostly because I thought he was going to vote for me. Well, I mean, when discussing scientific topics, you have to have a degree of open-mindedness. So kind of digging into that, I think, a little deep gave everyone the impression that I was free-thinking enough to be a flat earther and be trying to hide it.
No, we didn't think that. No, I called you a pseudoscientist and mocked you for claiming you had a hypothesis of your own.
Do you want to keep playing?
but he's open-minded.
Yeah, oh yeah, very open-minded.
In the box, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3.
Scary when you look at what's happening to our environment.
I think you feel it. I mean, I feel like every single year summer keeps coming around sooner and sooner, and it lasts a lot longer. It's hotter. Yeah.
I mean, we're hearing about people dying of heat waves. Like it's, I feel like it's hard to not. I feel like at this point, if you're actively like trying to not believe that global warming is a thing, like this Earth, if you believe it around the flat, is fucked.
It's going downhill. It's scary.
Oh my God.
I know.
You know, I
So, I feel like as a young group, we're more.
Or someone trying to get a remark in. Go ahead.
I could stand in a group of those people and laugh along and be like, I mean, this is a what is category. Belief shouldn't even come into it. And they would all laugh with me because they would think I was on their side.
Yeah, exactly.
More educated, so I feel like it's harder to like really point down, or for one of us to really believe.
Yeah, for sure.
The Earth is flat.
I was just gonna say one thing. I've watched this show before, and like they like to, throw you off by like appearance based. So, in the best way possible, you look very sciencey. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm saying.
Okay. Again, what's with this? You look sciencey.
I feel like your educational background like fits it too perfectly that I feel like they could easily be like.
He's got spectacles.
What was your educational background again?
I did ME for both bachelor's and master's.
Wait, but he could be lying.
Oh.
I'm kind of suspicious of you too.
I was
like,
a
it's
little
only due to not
suspicious
talking as
of
much.
you and you.
I mean, I'll share.
Yeah, I don't really
the truth. I don't know.
earlier of like, I don't know the moon landing and you cannot believe in being a flat earther. You need to believe in like concrete, solid proof. Both of my parents are software engineers. I cannot go believing in flat earthers.
I can barely, oh my god.
I can barely even tell what they're actually saying.
Well,
version of a Valley Girl.
Just talk so quick that nobody can make out what you're actually saying. That'll make you sound smart.
I have sped it up slightly.
Yeah, Valley Girl.
I have sped it up slightly. That's why it sounds quick.
Green.
Totally, for sure.
Guess the mole out.
What is
Sorry. Red. The mole is still among the four of you, and they have won the
One second,
cash prize
Nathan.
themselves.
Yeah.
One girl just said there, this is what I was trying to get in. One girl just said there that my parents are software engineers, so I can't be a flat earther. Is that what she said?
Yeah, this girl here. Yeah.
How is that? What has her parents being software engineers got to do with whether she can or can't be a flat earther?
Brian, just try to keep up, man. So software exists, therefore globe. I mean,
This at the beginning, Brian.
What's the problem?
Sorry, Brian. Brian,
Her parents programmed the software, and so they didn't need to raise her, right? They got computers that take over.
I mean, maybe that's a double bluff, though. We don't know if she's the flat earther and she's using that as a bluff. So if I now draw a parallel and go, well, I could use the same argument. Well, I can't possibly believe we're on a globe. My parents are software engineers. Well, that's factually true for me. They were. So, I mean, if it's true for her and not a bluff, well, then, what does it matter? Does it matter that your parents were software engineers? Well, no, let's just take it through the logical steps that she'd be inferring. She's saying, if I understand science, that is to say I can operate a computer, not science, then I can't believe Earth is flat. That's the logic. It's akin to, are you breathing? You're breathing right now. Well, then Earth can't possibly be flat. We all agreed a minute ago, we all believe Earth's spherical, and you are breathing. I mean, it's an affirming the consequent non sequitur. What's wrong with you? Just accept it.
Right. She uses email, so the Earth must be a globe. Otherwise,
Exactly.
she wouldn't be using email.
Just phrase it correctly, Arwin. Have you never used email? Flat Earth, Arwin.
Well, not while I was believing in flat Earth, but other than that, yes, I've used email.
Well, then you know Earth's a globe. Flat Earth, Arwin. You used email, then you know. How could you possibly not know it's a globe? Agree with the consensus. We all believe it's a globe.
Are you four ready?
I know.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
Thank you guys for all believing in a round Earth.
You doubted me, but.
So I'm going to count to 3, and then the mole may step forward. 1.
I still don't understand the plot of how it works. So at the end, they have to guess who is the flat earther. And if they don't manage to guess it, they have to exclude themselves from the group and not get a guess again. But at the end, everyone's still included in the guessing process, so you can guess who the flat earther is, even though they're excluded from guessing. Now they're going to guess, for the final time, who is actually the flat earther. I see.
2, 3.
Wait, really?
I know it's wacky.
Are you guys surprised at all?
I actually am.
Very surprised. I had like all my money was on George, so I was like, wait, whoa, the school teacher is the flat earther? You were a teacher at one point, so for me, I was like, oh well, I mean, he's a teacher, so he, you know.
Called it. Oh my God, you're in a position of intelligence. I can't quite believe it.
Wow.
Called it.
How dare you?
I got the guy wrong and the methodology right. So it was the other big guy that I said it would have been, not this guy with spectacles. I mean, he does look flat earthy and sciencey. He's got spectacles.
You wouldn't believe such a crazy idea, and here I am.
Should have guessed, shouldn't I, really?
He has a very special looking
You had a
mustache.
pretty good shtick with the software engineer thing, but I can't say any more than vibe. I had a vibe, it was you.
Yeah, story-wise, it was with my team of engineers, which is interesting.
Ooh.
It's surprising how much you don't think about certain things until you do. My fiance, she's been on this before.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's got their attention. This could be interesting. Got about 30 seconds left of the video.
Oh. Which episode?
The globe Earth is flat.
Interesting. I didn't know if it was that one, but
We're all taught certain things. We are, whether we admit it or not, we're indoctrinated with beliefs, with certain things, whether it's religion, whether it's government, whether it's what have you.
Okay. I mean, in years gone by, mate, you might have got our praise up until this point. From now, just tell them Earth's measured flat. Earth's measured flat.
Why didn't he say 9/11? Sorry.
Yeah, we've all been indoctrinated with beliefs. We've all got a belief. Don't try and tell them they've been lied to. It's really hard to convince someone they've been lied to. Right? You don't need to. You believe that Earth's a sphere? Oh, that's cool, man. Earth's measured flat. Navigated flat. It's built on flat. All the maps that we use were developed by way of a flat Earth measurement. And that's how we negotiate it to this day. You know, GPS? That's using a flat Earth system. Did you know that? You didn't? Yeah, it's flat Earth. All of it. Yeah, that's because Earth is flat. That's what you need to say in 2024.
And then when they get emotional about it, just ask them, why are you getting emotional? We're just talking about measurements, bro. We're just talking about the ground. That's it. We're not talking about belief. Not talking about any of that stuff. It's just measured flat. That's just it.
What do you mean,
like
though? If they get triggered, they don't get triggered. It's just some measurements of Earth and how it is in reality. You know, you need me to get you some crayons so you can have a little colouring in session to calm yourself down?
I guarantee he's a feast of nonsense.
Maybe. Well, most of us are beyond this group, Neil. Us being flat earthers.
You know, we're taught a lot
true.
more what to think instead of how to think.
If you don't mind me asking, do you believe truth is subjective or objective?
I definitely believe in an objective truth.
What would my answer be? Do I believe the truth is subjective or objective? Earth's measured flat. Does it matter what I believe or disbelieve or what is subjective or objective when we can measure it? Now, that is objectively measuring it flat. What do you want? Do you want to know my political views? Who gives a toss?
But the truth is not a belief anyway.
Exactly.
The whole question was terrible. You know what I mean? Do you believe the truth is this or that? It's like, you can't believe something about truth. It is what it is.
Yeah, they've had to qualify their own subjective belief in a sphere for so many years and qualify it and double speak themselves into thinking that that's a reality. So when it comes to someone else working outside of that paradigm, they have to question it on the grounds of whether or not you've got an objective or subjective belief in the thing that they have a subjective belief in.
Truth.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of ridicule. There's a lot of hate when people believe in something different. And I find it fascinating, really.
Yeah, well, we've just decided in 2024, mate, that we're going to put an end to it. So as much as it's not your fault that you came into this subject like we all did through the Feast of Nonsense on that particular path, well, now times have changed. You know, we're getting a bit older and we're tired of telling people about their subjective beliefs and fighting with them and telling them that they've been lied and explaining how they've been indoctrinated. To be honest, I don't care. All right, you grew up with a globe belief. My kids didn't. But who cares? It's not relevant, is it? Whether or not we were brainwashed and indoctrinated into believing we were on a sphere. What matters is the reality of the world. And it is flat. It is measured flat. It is moved upon flat. Built upon flat. Obviously, observably, navigably flat. What else do you need to know? No, not believe. You need to know how it's measured flat. Yeah, I can tell you how it's measured flat. You got a GPS system. It's using a flat grid, not curved, with reference to sea level. Level, flat.
Well,
but we know that spherical and flat is the same, right? You just use a bit of math, and then all that flat stuff, including the angles, you could just bend it around a globe. That's what they do.
No.
We were allowed to do that.
Just to expand on the GPS point, because I've heard you bring it up a few times, Nathan. What GPS is using is the Universal Transverse Mercator map. Now, right, but that's what it's using, claimed to be used overall across the whole world. But what it's using when it's dealing with your position, it's using local horizontal and local vertical. And these are often converted then to match the Universal Transverse Mercator projection. Why it's doing that is because the Universal Transverse Mercator projection is a globe projection as a cylinder map, right? But the problem with that is it's not correct. The sizes, it's Google Maps uses Universal Transverse Mercator, but the sizes of the continents on that are not correct, and the countries are not correct. Just like when Google Earth, I think, used the Universal Transverse Mercator, and the sizes of the countries and continents are not correct in accordance to each other, I think, on that as well. I could be wrong about that point. Well, but the point is that, right? What you say, Arwen? Sorry.
Are there any maps where the scale is perfectly consistent?
No.
Overall?
Well, the only maps where there is correct scale is Ordnance Survey maps. But even them will try to...
He means world map. The context he was asking you, is there any world map?
No, there is no correct world map. There is no. I know how to create the most correct one we have ever had. It doesn't mean it'll be correct, but the most correct one, I know how to create that. I've laid that out with the time zones. But the point I'm making is, when the people come up with GPS and think of GPS, they're thinking about how these satellites in the sky are giving a receiver all this information via just this signal, and the receiver just knows where it is off of that. There is a load of other stuff that goes on with it that even if we lived on a globe, if you go by how they officially say GPS works, even if we did live on a globe, they'd be still lying because it can't work that way because it's impossible. How they say it works is impossible. So GPS doesn't prove it's a globe. GPS, it's kind of funny. GPS does prove the Earth is... GPS is using a flat plane. And how GPS actually works, as I showed in my presentation, you could do that on a globe, but the problem is you couldn't use the coordinate system in the same way. You would still have to make the globe into a flat map, no matter what you do. But the point is that with GPS, it's a series of crossing lines that find that the receiver finds its location, finds your location. It's a series of crossing lines. It's not, right? It's not, you are getting signals from several different sources or information from several different sources. But the point is it's not, it doesn't work even if we lived on a globe. This is the real GPS argument. It doesn't work. Even if we lived on a globe, it wouldn't work and can't work, as they say. So no matter what, they're not just saying, like, they're lying to everyone when they're saying it works that way, because it can't. I've shown how it's impossible. And I've shown how the only way it can work, and there is no way around that. There is no other way for it to work. The point I'm making here is it's hard for people to take on board.
What's the name of the video where you do that? Because I'm sharing your video now. That was the one we discussed in the pre-show. But
it's a whole presentation of the Ballbusters. I don't know which one. It's a Ballbusters presentation.
Okay, well, going by in the chat right now is a link to Brian's channel and his most recent video, which is called Right Angle Elevation Triangle of Doom. Go and subscribe today. But also, there's a Ballbusters presentation on GPS in there somewhere. So go and check that out. I just want to hear the last few comments from this particular video, which is Jubilee, and then I'll do a little call to action and round out the live show?
I don't. It doesn't really bother me. There's trolls out there, or as Taylor Swift would say, the haters will hate. It's fine.
Just throw it. Yeah. I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, alrighty then. So this video, as I say, was Find the Flat Earther by Jubilee, and I didn't do this at the beginning, but I'm going to do it now. So if you are watching, because we are still live, in the live stream chat, just bring it up so you can see, I do a call to action that will hopefully get you all to go to this person's channel and let them know in the comments section, offering them the algorithmic love that we do not receive, a comment that suggests we have responded to your video. And hopefully they would do the same for us, were they to respond to us and critique us in regards to our disdain towards some of the aspects that they've covered in their video. Nevertheless, please let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And like I say, it'll boost their numbers, it'll boost their comments and boost their algorithmic sensation that they're obviously enjoying, where we do not. So hopefully, like with all the other videos that we do cover, they would actually put a link to Nathan Oakley 1980's video. This one, in this instance, I'll put it in the live stream chat. Jubilee, prove the Earth is flat. So yeah, please let them know. There's a bit too commenty, linky, description-y going by at the moment, so it's a bit confusing with Brian and Jubilee's video links, but there we go. Hopefully I've done enough of a call to action for people to have gone there, made a quick comment and popped their way back to hear us round out this live show. Any final comments before I do round out this live show and ask people to stay tuned if they're watching on an after show?
I have one last thing to say.
Go ahead, Brian.
About the GPS situation. Yes, GPS does in a lot of ways prove that the Earth is a flat plane. Right? I'm not saying it doesn't. But a safer position to take is that it doesn't prove a globe. And that's the point. Because if you're saying it proves it's flat, then the onus is on you. When someone says it proves a globe, if you watch my presentations, right, and go through all of it, and don't miss section 4, which is the most important section, you will see how it wouldn't matter whether GPS could work on a globe or not, because it would the same way it would work on a globe, it would also work just as easy on a flat plane, right? The point being is that when you ask them to prove, when you look what's in the presentation, and I will do a presentation on it again in the future, it shows that it doesn't prove a globe, which is the main point. Rather than saying it proves the Earth is flat, show how it doesn't prove a globe. And when they say it does, ask them to go through the process. And if you understand what's in that presentation, you will be able to pull apart their process and show how they don't have what they need to have within what they're claiming for the receiver to find its location, because that's what GPS is. A receiver that receives information from signal senders, regardless of what people want to claim those senders are or where they are. The point is that this receiver receives this information from several sources. And how does that then, with how they say it works officially, how does that find your location? If you understand the logic, then you will realize that how it's officially claimed to work and how it's officially claimed to prove a globe, it couldn't work even if we were on a globe, which means that how they state that it works, right, it doesn't work. So how does GPS prove a globe? Rather than you saying it proves it's flat and then having to go through the big rigmarole and with them, you don't have to do that. Just ask them to show how it proves the Earth is a globe.
Okay, cool. Will do. With that, I'm going to say lots of calls to action. So first and foremost, subscribe to Brian's Logic and check out his most recent video, which is epic. And we did cover it in the pre-show, so check that out. It's just gone by in the live stream chat. Also, Jubilee, please let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a nice, polite comment that's not rude, that just infers that we have commented on their video, and hopefully they would return the love and give me a comment link in their video should they respond. Last but by no means least, there is a live stream on Quantum Eraser's YouTube channel today, which is at 7 PM UK time and 1 PM US Central. So that's the Quantum Eraser live show. So that's going out to all of you watching in the live stream chat right now. But with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980. No, we're just doing the live stream round out. Not normally this lengthy. Massive thank you to all of you for tuning in, smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a member, and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on an after show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!